Well, yeah, I guess Bernard, I suppose, I don't know, when you sort of played your last match in 2019, did you sort of see that this might be on your horizon again?
I suppose always hoped and thought about it, but I never thought the opportunity would sort of come back up, especially leaving and going overseas and sort of knowing that the eligibility laws have the ability to change. I was sort of had to be content with not getting the opportunity again when I left in 2019. So to now get the opportunity and to be back here in the squad and get to wear the colours is pretty grateful and excited by having that second opportunity.
And how do you think that you've changed, I guess, as a player in the last few years? With your experience overseas.
Yeah, I think experiences over there have hopefully allowed me to see a more worldly game and how other teams, other players sort of approach the game and their trends and sort of objectives in how they play the footy. I've been lucky enough to play with guys in All Blacks, South Africans and Japanese sort of players. So we all sort of brought a different flavour, and I think just being around those guys has taught me a lot about the rigours of playing footy and how the, I suppose, mindsets and intentions change wherever you are playing the game.
Bernard, Dave's kind of touched on the conversations you guys been having over the past 12 months. Can you just kind of, from your perspective, kind of give us an understanding of when they began and when it became a reality in your mind you'd be once again joining this Wallaby squad? Yeah,
well, Dave and I first spoke last year, just after the French series, and we had a really good conversation, open chat about whether that was the right timing or somewhere else down the line. And for me personally at the time, it probably wasn't the right time to come in. Just coming back from overseas, being in bubbles, and having a bit of family stuff. Was probably not the right time and wasn't probably in the right mindset, but it gave me time to, I suppose, reflect and really, dive down as to what I personally needed and sort of lit the fire again about coming in. And we had open chats, I suppose, throughout the rest of that season and the start of this season. So to have that call up and that chat probably 3 weeks ago now. I was pretty eager and jumped at the opportunity to come back in.
Just on that reflection, was it kind of the key things for you that kind of lit that fire again into that quest to come back and play for the Wallabies?
Oh, well, I suppose, whether it was an ego or whether it was something that was really driving and that ambition sort of inside to come in and I suppose also to reflect on when I was in here and how I'd do things differently and where I'd learned and grown. To come back and really add to the team, and I think the time's right now.
Bernard, have you taken any inspiration, I guess, from watching Quade do something similar last year and come in from the wilderness in a way and then do what he did?
Oh, definitely. I was really impressed how he came back in and just the experience and the composure he was able to add to the side. I think you saw pretty much all the players around him lift and grew in stature and confidence by having that experience and that voice and that calmness next to him and sort of directing the team around. So, I thought he'd done a wonderful job last year and even this year. Speaking with the guys, his influence and effect on the team has been massive, and just really probably sad to see his injury come at that time. I thought he'd done a lot and pretty impressive in his time here. And even when I'd spoken to him over Japan and seen him in Japan, how he was keeping and his mindset and physically how he was keeping himself in shape. So, I suppose pretty sad for him, but that opportunity falls on me now, I suppose.
Do you have expectations around game time? How you might be used over the next few matches?
No, I suppose we're only day 2 or day 1 in the program. So really just coming in here and taking it day by day, trying to learn the language, the strategies, the just how the team want to play and getting to know and connect with the players. So no real objectives as such. I'd love to be involved where I can, but really just to be a part of the squad and help out where I can, and get to know and introduce myself is my main priority at the moment.
Do you feel that Australia has a bit of a weakness, I guess, in how it's developed number 10s? You know, we're looking at a couple of really good young players at early 20s, and then yourself and Quade and that kind of age group. I mean, have you noticed that there's been issues in development, and anything you can put that down to if you have?
Oh, I suppose there is a bit of a void there of players through that middle section, but no, I'm not really sure. It's probably not for me to talk about, but you know, how we can develop these young guys now is really exciting. I've done a fair bit of work with, a couple of sessions with Benny Donaldson, with Tane Edmund, you know, now in here with Noah. I'm really excited because I see these guys as immensely talented. They've got the composure, they've got the mentality and probably the rugby IQ to run teams. They just need that experience and that time in the saddle to really understand their craft, learn their master their craft, and be able to steer teams around.
Sorry, just one more from me. Do you think it would be challenging being, say, in Noah's position, where he's kind of coming in and then out of the team, and you know, not really kind of settled on him as that position? Like, how difficult would that be for a young playmaker, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's difficult just being young and being in these environments. But you know, I've been really impressed coming in yesterday, meeting him, just how composed and confident he is. I don't think it's been knocked around or anything like that. I think he's a guy who can come in and call the shots, and I'm really excited to look forward to working with him and just seeing how he sees the game and how he's going to run.
Langi, we'll bring you in a moment. Thanks for being patient. Bernie, just maybe one from me on that. Are there lessons to be learned from 2019? Because there was so much chopping and changing, not just at 10, but also at 9 and at fullback. What are the lessons from your perspective around the nature of selection, particularly in the crucial positions of 9, 10, 15?
Oh, definitely. I suppose, you know, combinations and time together builds better relationships, builds those better connections, and you get that understanding of how to play. I think 2019, reflecting on that sort of journey, is completely different to sort of what we're talking about now. I think, you know, the intention and the purpose was right back then, just the execution and game plan. So I think today and what we're working with, you know, is really competition in spots is a healthy thing within teams. You know, you want guys to drive, but coming in and just seeing here for the one day is that everyone's, you know, working together with each other to get a better outcome, to get a better product, and that's the exciting thing that's you know, in the small time I've been in here, is looking to sort of add to that.
And Langi, pretty meteoric rise from you. You're playing club rugby on a Saturday at North Sydney Oval, and now you're involved in your first Wallabies camp. How do you reflect on the emotions of the last couple of weeks, and particularly since the call up last week?
Yeah, pretty surreal. Didn't expect to be in this squad, but very happy that Rennie gave me the opportunity. So yeah, he gave me the phone call on Thursday, and couldn't wait to tell the family. And it's been a very big year for me, and I'm very happy.
What was said in the phone call, and you know, are you able to bring us into how you felt? Were there tears? Was it an overwhelming sense of joy? What was it like?
Yeah, it was on the way back from TARS training. He gave me a ring and said that I was in the squad for South Africa. As soon as I got that phone call, emotions came coming in, especially as a little kid looking up to all these rugby players like Foley. You know, Wallabies is like the biggest achievement you can do, and I'm just couldn't wait to tell the family, mum, dad. They're all happy, very proud.
And we all kind of watched on and marvelled during Super Rugby. I think that Highlanders game in Dunedin particularly probably stood out there. But you know, onto Australia Array. Is there the hope that you're not just going to be there for the ride, that you're actually going to try to put yourself into the frame to play, and whether or not you start or come off the bench?
Yeah. For me, as a player, I just want to learn from the squad, learn from the coaches. Doesn't matter if I play or if I'm benching or not playing. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to learn from players such as Jed Holloway, Valentini, all in my position.
But Langi, you really seemed to impress you in that Pacific Nations Cup, particularly those last two games. Just wondering, what was your attitude firstly when you selected for that, and then getting that chance to start those last two games?
Yeah, coming into the Australia A tour, I also didn't expect much. I just wanted to learn from the players there. Played against Samoa. Coaches were impressed, and they gave me a start for Fiji, and I just took it with two hands, did what I could, and yeah, they were very happy with the performance.
You sort of talk on learnings from that Australia A program. What do you think you kind of picked up from that can kind of get you in good stead if you are called up to this Wallabies team for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I guess it's just playing against really good opposition, such as in the Pacific Tour you got Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, all really strong, intense players on that team, and I guess just finding your way to get through the game and showcase what you can do is probably the biggest thing you can do.
Just wanted to get the difference between, like in Dunedin, that game, that was massive. And then what's the difference between that intensity and playing like a Fiji and a Tonga?
Yeah, I guess obviously Pacific rugby players are known for their size, so when they run at you, you got to use your technique, otherwise you'll get rolled over. It's very intense playing in the Pacific Nations Cup, especially playing with players that you haven't really played with before. I find that you got to build a connection really quickly, which is what I'm trying to do here in the camp, and everyone here's all welcome. So, yeah.
Now you're a Manly boy. Did you grow up looking up to a guy like Hoops?
Yeah, I did. Hoops is a big icon in Manly. Watched his games as a little kid, especially him and Pocock in the World Cup, in the recent World Cups. Looking up to him, and he's a really nice person. He's really genuine, which is what I look up to him. Yeah.
You didn't play for Manly on Saturday, did you?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you a bit, I guess they're out now.
Yes.
So it was good to be able to give them one more game, I guess, before you came into Wallabies camp.
Yeah, no, it was good. I really wanted to play that game, especially because last season I think we came 10th, and to come 4th this season is very big for Manly. Yeah.
Thanks, Langi. Thanks, Jim.
Bernard, welcome home. I was just going to ask you, looking back at 2019, could you give us an idea of where you felt you were at? Were you a bit burned out at the end of that? Were you lacking energy, with motivation? I've heard you quoted even about this week that you feel like you got a new lease of life type thing. Could you tell us about where you're at then compared to, I guess, the kid-like feelings about this week?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I've had time to reflect on it, Jim, but I think it was probably we were a place where we cared too much. I think we were trying to force it to happen and trying to really trying too hard to change the outcomes and to really go in there and have an unbelievable tournament. And I suppose that's where, as I said, the intent was all right. The purpose and why we were there was spot on, but just the execution and how we sort of carried it out and how we weren't able to probably circuit break ourselves enough through those couple of years leading up to it and in that 2019 World Cup. So that's probably what I'm really enjoying being back in here and really understanding that there is only a finite amount of time you're in this jersey and in this program and doing what we get to do. So to really make the most of it, to try and enjoy it and have fun, but work hard and really appreciate the opportunity we have to get what we have. That's what I'd try and tell a guy like Langi, in here for his first day, that it is a finite amount of time you get to spend in these programs, and just make the most of every day.
That's a good answer. With Dave giving you a little bit of a feeler even last year, were there things in this last Japanese season you worked on, particularly with this perhaps bigger picture in mind? Was it something about your pace or anything that to make you test ready again?
No, not anything in particular. I suppose we've working over there is to really that game management and control. You know, how you can understand momentum and territory and moments within games, and how you can put the team in the right places. And that's probably something I've been lucky enough to work with different people from, you know, different backgrounds and understanding of the game or thinkings of the game. So for me, yeah, it's just really trying to get better as a game controller and caller.